Hi, this is James from GPX, and I just wanted to show you the brand new GPX 300R FSE Enduro bike. It's priced at 5695 and can be road registered by your dealer for you. It's a really outstanding bike with brilliant suspension, a great Revy engine on it with some real grunt, 298cc, 6-speed, and it really goes. It's a really good looking bike, comes with loads of high spec components actually on it, so you don't have to go forking out money once you've actually bought it. I mean, that's part of the fun of owning a dirt bike, isn't it, that you're sort of forking out money on it, but you don't have to with this bike. So let me just start here and go through the details with you. As I've mentioned to you, I mentioned to you a little bit about the engine. It's fuel injected, single cylinder, double overhead cam engine. It takes 1500 millilitres of oil, and you change that every 600 miles. Check the valves every 5,000 miles. So that's exceptionally long service intervals on this bike, and they're recommended by the manufacturer of the engine, Zongshen. It's got a kickstart backup, as you can see, but it's primarily electric start, and it's very unlikely you're even going to need to touch that. The other GPX models start immediately on the electric start, and this is no different. Okay, you've got your filter down there, filter access there, and you've got your oil release bolt there. This plastic sump shield obviously comes with the bike, and it is released via one bolt there at the front. Moving on from the engine, you've got the rear brake lever, which can come up considerably from that if you want it to. You can be adjusted via that bolt there, and also the bolt on the back of the master cylinder. Moving on to the rear shock, you've got high and low speed compression at the top with the blue bolt, and also the blue nut and the small Allen key bolt in the center. It's obviously got spring preload, and it's got rebound adjustment on the back. All the linkage is billet aluminium, so it's not some rough old cast. It's been really nicely manufactured with billet aluminium. You can see the rebound on the bottom. Springs are easily available for these bikes, so if you want to change the weight of the spring for your particular weight, you can do that easily for both the front forks and the rear forks. These are, sorry, for the rear shock and also the front forks. The springs are readily available. You've also got a shock lowering hole here on the bottom, so if you take that bolt out there and put it into that hole, it reduces the height of the seat by 40 millimeters, which is really low, and it gets the height really down if that's something that's important to you. Moving on to the rear silencer. This is new for 2023. They've embossed this onto the actual rear silencer because the previous decals were blistering under the heat, so that's a new thing. Aluminium swinging arm, billet aluminium footrests. Moving on, single pot rear caliper, good quality sintered pads that will last you a long time. SZC, this is a company that actually make a lot of the components on this bike, and they're made by the accessories division of the factory that produce these bikes, and that's the first two initials. They're the initials of the guy who owns the factory. Okay, SZ and C is for competition. Stainless steel discs, billet hubs, alloy rims, stainless steel spokes. That's pretty high spec, so these spokes aren't going to rust. All of the lights on this bike are LED, so you know they draw very little power. Alloy radiators on both sides. These bikes have a lithium battery, okay, not lead acid, a lithium battery, which is obviously something that you normally got to pay for. Obviously a billet hub, the wheels as per, the front wheel is as per the rear wheel, being aluminium billet, stainless steel spokes and alloy rim. You've got fork protectors here. This is a completely standard bike. You've got tie down hooks here just off the yokes. These are billet yokes. Okay, you've got a 4 LED powerful headlight here, which is, it's really powerful. if you go out at night, you're going to be able to see easily, with that light. You can go just as quick or almost as quick at night as you can during the day. It really illuminates up the lanes, makes a significant difference. Gone are the days, those old sort of single bulb rear front lights, that were absolutely naff. These are absolutely bright as can be, and you haven't just got one LED in there, you've got 4 LEDs, and that's possibly a 5th in the middle, but I don't know for sure. Okay, so moving up to the switch gear, we've got a quality front brake master cylinder there, quality throttle, electric start. You've obviously got your front brake switch there as well. You've got a key ignition, comes with 2 keys with a little cap around the actual key, so that protects the actual mud and water from getting inside the slot on the ignition whilst you're out riding. Moving over to the other side, you've got a flash button there. Tell people to get out of the way, or ask them very nicely. And then you've got high and low beam, kill switch, indicators, horn. All pretty self-explanatory. Handguards are all standard. This bike's entirely standard. You've got a cable clutch, but it's very light. It's a very light cable clutch. And, if you crash, you don't have to worry about breaking that expensive perch there. These are not much money at all. That's one of the benefits of having a cable clutch, that when you do come off and break something, you don't have to worry about sort of breaking, 120 pounds worth of clutch perch. And this cable clutch is just as good. Now, looking at the front forks here, these are a particularly wonderful feature of the bike. You have to excuse my voice at the moment, it's going a bit funny, isn't it? You've got rebound adjusters at the top on both sides. One's blue, one's red, but they both do the same. And you've got bleed valves on the top of the forks. Okay, down at the bottom, you've got compression adjusters. You see the red compression adjusters, that's the same on both sides. That's for adjusting your compression. These forks are absolutely superb. I mean, to give you an example, if you're herring down, a field and maybe at 50 miles an hour, and you're entering, a set of whoops on a track, and you're thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen here? I'm going to end up in a big pile on the floor. You'll be surprised how well these forks actually cope with it. They really soak up the bumps. They don't give you any trouble at all. They haven't got, you can just dial them in beautifully, where you've just got a real fast action, and they're very responsive to small little bits and pieces, like small roots and just rocks on the trail, and all of the small stuff. You just don't get it coming up through the bars at all. But the bigger hits, it really soaks up. Another example is when you're actually going over a field, for instance, and you're crossing over an established track, and you go down, and then and then you bump into the other side of it, and you think, oh my Christ, that's going to go right up through my wrist, and that's going to really hurt. Well, these forks are just absolutely tremendous. They take all of that out. You will not get shocks going up your wrists with these forks. They are absolutely superb. I would describe them as being plush at the beginning of the stroke. They are plush, but when they get to this point, I would say they really start to sort of make a considerable sort of stiffening, and they never bottom out. I mean, sure, you'll use the entire sort of length of it, but there's no banging, there's no clonking, there's no topping out. They just work like dream forks. They are absolutely incredible, and again, they're made by these guys. These forks, I am sure that in time will get quite a reputation for being very good forks within the field. They can be compared with anything out there at the moment. I've had all of the forks. I've had all sorts of bikes with all sorts of forks, KYBs, White Powers, Sachs, on Betas and KTMs and Yamahas, and I've had them revalved by the best guys in the business, and there is none of the forks are anywhere near as good as this. Anywhere near. I'm 14 stone and they're absolutely perfect for me, and they're fully adjustable. Really easy to service, and you can get the seals and springs from pretty much anywhere. So there we are. Got radiator louvers on the front, they come as stock. I've already mentioned the fan kit. Moving round to the other side, you've got a disc cover, and then you've got the speedo cable as well as the SZC brake caliper. Okay. The tank, petrol tank, that takes 2 gallons. 2 gallons of petrol, and it just runs on regular unleaded fuel, or some of the good stuff if you want to stick it in there. It's got a 6-speed gearbox, comes with this quality gear lever, a billet gear lever, not some rubbishy old steel thing. There's the electric start motor on there. I mean, let me show you. I mean, this engine's totally cold, for instance. It's not been started today at all. But I'll start it up in a minute. That's the reason why I'm telling you that. Nice side stand. Alloy 52 teeth rear sprocket. The air filter here can just be gained access with no tools, just by popping it off there and there, pulling it out. Again, the air filter can be taken out with no tools. It just notches into 2 little holes. It just slots into the 2 little holes and can be released really easily for no tool changing. What else is there to mention? It's got a 6-speed gearbox. I think I've already told you that. It's fuel injected. These bikes have been sold out in the United States for a long time. People race them. People hare and hounds them, people dual sport them and green lane them, and they're really, really capable bikes. They're sort of a midway between, you know, a 250, the 250 air-cooled or water-cooled lump, and also the 450. They'll just give you that much extra power, which maybe you want. And I've got to say, for hare and hounds, I think this is a really good bike. A really good bike, and at 5695 it's incredible value. Comes with a 6-month warranty. Let me just start it up. This has not been started today at all. Okay, that's the dash. Gear indicator for all those people out there that forget what gear you're in. I'm joking, by the way. High and low beam mentioned, but you won't need that. You can change this over to miles. It's obviously got a battery indicator, revs, mileage, trip, you name it. Right, kill switch is off. It's a common mistake to actually leave that switched in. Obviously it won't start, but it will now. Let's hope so anyway, because I've been talking a long time. It'd be a real pity if I wasted it because the thing doesn't start. Here we are. Automatic choke. It's a lovely quiet engine. It's an absolutely gorgeous bike. Really, really gorgeous bike. I mean, to give you an idea, this is obviously bright daylight here on one of the hottest days of the year. I'm turning the headlight on. If you were on a standard old bulb, can you just imagine being able to see on that fence post over there some light? There's no way you'd see it, is there? No way. But you can see it because these lights are really bright. I think that's 4 LED, or can I see a 5th one in there? I'm not so sure. Anyway, that concludes my walk around of this bike. If you want to come and see it, let me know. Or speak to a dealer about getting one in. You cannot go wrong. These are reliable bikes. We back them out with all the spares, and we will look after you. That's the name of the game. You buy a GPX and we will look after you and make sure that you're happy with your purchase and that everything continues going in the good direction. Any queries, give me or your nearest dealer a shout. Thank you. Bye-bye. One thing that I forgot to mention was that they come with 2 mirrors, okay, obviously adjustable mirrors, Come with a front number board, plastic number board. Okay, and they come with this toolkit as well, which is pretty good, really. I mean, these are good quality, nice spanners. Come with all these pieces here, and you got obviously your front and rear wheel spanners, as well as locking wire. All these extra bits and pieces. Okay. And obviously they can be road registered by your dealer as well, or indeed by us if you choose to buy direct if you live outside of one of the dealer areas. Cheers, bye.